Your question is, what do you do if you get a legal letter while you're trying to sell things on a third-party platform, or maybe even on your standalone website? If you get one of those legal letters saying stop, cease and desist, there's a number of little sneaky tricks that they use to phrase it and to protect themselves from counter lawsuits. But I will try to outline some of the things that happened. You'll get a pretty thick fake express. It won't be signature required. It'll just say express and have a bunch of fake, like official looking stuff all over the envelope on the outside. And then inside will be a standard lawsuit letter, but it's not actually a lawsuit. It's more of like a cease and desist, which is they're written in a complex, not really complex, but a longer way so that you can't understand it. But it basically means stop now, we won't sue you. That's basically what it means. So without naming any names, some of these lawsuits are from one particular company. It's consolidated, and they offer who knows what discounts to these big companies that want to protect their price fixing operations. So what these lawsuit companies do is they specialize just in certain things like intellectual property violations on one single platform. Let's say Amazon, or more likely the bigger ones will be all three platforms, but they'll all be fairly similar outlines. Threat letter, one of the third-party platforms to a retail seller, which means the manufacturer or a distributor or an importer will start the suit, which isn't really a suit. So they basically pay the law firm by probably a form of subscription, which means they send out multiple letters per day, maybe even 100 per day for one particular company trying to target sellers. And so they pay a lump sum to retain the law firm. Who knows what it is, $100 per letter. But you will get multiple letters, and the legal consequences of the letter, which is why you're tuning into this video, are debatable. So they're not 100% fake, but they're not more than 1% real, which means they're very unlikely to go after you. But the truth is they have to go after somebody. So every once in a while, when it's a case that does cost them a lot of money, they are willing to go and make it, I don't know how they can make it more formal because those threat letters look pretty formal, but they could do a certified letter, which means serve you, which has actually happened to me too. So that could be fake. Not fake, but it cannot be an actual suit. They can serve you and start an actual suit, which will make most people back down, especially for one product line. Let's run through the process really quick. A manufacturer makes a t-shirt. That manufacturer wants to sell wholesale. So they open up a wholesale operation. They sell to 1,000 different retailers, maybe even a distributor who then sells to retailers. And then eventually, because the platforms are so big, like Amazon, they find out that it's cost effective for them to go onto that platform. So first thing is they can't enforce their first rights clause in any kind of intellectual claim in most cases, but definitely not when they're selling wholesale to the person they're trying to sue, but they will do it. And the other thing is they can actually engage in other strategies to get you kicked off the platform by claiming intellectual property violation. That's kind of a separate video, and it's not through the same legal company that would send these letters. That legal company says we're in the right, we're protecting violations. And so you have the manufacturer now interested in selling on Amazon and wants to get rid of the competition. That's called price fixing. And so to get rid of the competition, I guess I have to preface this by saying some price fixing in the past 20 years is legal and some isn't. Didn't used to be like that. It was a per se violation, which means you can never price fix. They've changed those rules 2006, 2007, something like that. They changed it so that manufacturers could be more competitive. That was actually the real reason these things went to the big courts. But now people have manipulated the legal precedents. They've manipulated the system, and what they're doing is price fixing in different creative, interesting ways. And there's a lot of incentive driven to those price fixing motives from third party platforms, especially Amazon being so consolidated, which means they can price fix everyone off Amazon. They have an open field to sell whatever they want at whatever price they want. And they can also sell to Amazon, and Amazon can sell for whatever they want. Who knows what those relationships become? And I'm not here making claims other than facts, and facts related to what it looks like. And so you'll get the fake letter. It'll tell you in small print it's not a lawsuit. It'll say it's a threat letter. It'll say if you back down from that manufacturer that you won't be sued. And so it'll ask you to remove it from blah, blah, blah platform. It'll also have what looks like some kind of case studies often, especially if you're big like we were. Those case studies will show kind of fake evidence for their fake manipulated reason for getting rid of you. So one of the new reasons is that even if you can show proof that you bought it from the manufacturer, which should make this moot, even if you do that, the manufacturer is now claiming they're going to revoke the warranty in the item, which means anyone who buys it from you, it's unwarranted. They buy it from them, it's warranted, even though you bought the same item from them. I hope that makes sense. It's a little confusing, and that's why most people get lost here. But they are covering their asses, and they want to be able to say, this is our evidence. No, it's not just wild price fixing manipulation on our part if they ever get to a court that look, they'd lose in any court anyway. It's all so fabricated and it's all such nonsense, and you can prove the manufacturer has a different motive for doing this, which is price fixing, rather than protecting its brand. So in some cases, it is protecting its brand. And when people make fake stuff, that's a real case. And that's when you have a real law firm, which some of these law firms probably used to do and probably have no reason to do anymore. And there's not a lot of it. And it's probably international, which means other countries, people forging real branded stuff, and they're trying to find ways to go after those people and get them off markets like Amazon, which allow that international competition. So I hope this has made sense. It's a little confusing. I get it. I'm going to have to make more videos about it. This is more of the intro video to what those lawsuit letters look like. It's kind of just a warning. It can potentially cause you problems. It's not very likely to. The most likely things that can happen is a manufacturer is going to cut you off and not sell to you anymore. And mine used to threaten me, call me in the middle of the night threatening me, and admitting they're doing it for price fixing, saying you're lowering your price too much in Amazon. How am I going to make money? Bro, come on. You're admitting to illegal price fixing. And so I'm not a big lawsuit guy, so I didn't really get involved in that. I actually had to stop selling anyway because Amazon blocked most of those people from selling the products I was selling at that time, and no one knows why. And a lot of the reasons, are, again, go into all of these shady areas, which could comprise multiple videos. This is the video on those legal cease and desist letters. Probably don't worry about them. There's a 1% chance. My advice is talk to an attorney cheap. Talk to an attorney that's a friend and say, should I worry about this letter? They're going to read it and say it's not a real letter. Wait for the suit, because even if you get the suit, it'll still contain a cease and desist. Most likely. Not a lawyer, but I did stay in the Holiday Inn Express last night. That's cease and desist. Thanks for shopping.